Welcome to Unsolving the Wing T, where we break down the Wing T offense in its entirety, series by series and play by play. I'm Coach Laz, and in this video, we will be discussing the belly play within the belly series. So the belly series can be broken down into one main run play, the belly cross block, and then 6 secondary run plays, which are the belly option load, the belly counter keep, the tackle trap, and then finally Sally. It can also be broken down into one main pass play, which is the belly keep pass, and 2 secondary pass plays, the belly counter keep pass, and then the tackle trap boot. So what is the belly? The belly play is a B-gap run play designed for the fullback. It's going to utilize a combination of angled down blocks very similar to a power or an ISO block by the playside wing, and it's also unique because all 3 backs go in the same direction, whereas before we talked about the Buck series, they all go in a different way. All go in a different direction. So the fullback is going to be the main ball carrier attacking the inside in the 4 and 5 hole in the B gap. The quarterback, he's going to attack outside of the fullback in the C and D gap. And then the backside wing who motions, he's going to attack the outside of the quarterback on the flank to the 8 and 9 hole. So this play is primarily run weak away from the tight end and to the wide receiver split end side. And the strong version of this play would be the down play within the down series. That is when you run it to the tight end. So why run the belly? Well, you should run the belly when teams start to overload the tight end wing side. Most likely, they're going to do this to take away your buck sweep, especially if you've been successful for it. They're going to put numbers there and try to outflank you. So then you should go weak side away from that tight end wing combination just to the single wing side. Like I said, so you should run that belly play away from the tight end to get back the numbers advantage. Additionally, motioning that wing to gain even more numbers is why this is so great, because there's always motion in the wing T, so motioning those right and left wings either direction, you're going to gain a number if that defense does not move. Also, if you have a great fullback, using the belly play is going to be a great base play. It's going to establish positive yards on first down because it's so downhill. If you have a very good fullback and you want to feature him as opposed to the wings, then the belly series is going to be fantastic for you. Like I said, the fullback is the feature back within this series. He's the main back. So if you have a dominant fullback who can wear defenses down, this is going to be a very good series for you. Situationally speaking, I have here listed first down, second and short, and third and medium. Like I said, you can never go wrong calling the base play within this series on first down. It's going to establish positive yards on first down. It should set you up for second and manageable. If you gain 3 to 4 yards and then you continue to do that on second and third down, you're going to continuously move the chains, and that's what we want. Secondly, second and short. So this is a good play if you are still in your own territory. You haven't really crossed half field yet. Then you want to get the first down, not worry about anything else. Second and short is a perfect play call for this. Third and medium. So this is kind of where it gets a little bit tricky. If you are confident in your guys and you're confident up front that you can get these 4 or 5 yards, then belly should be a very, very good play for you. Also, if you know you're in 4 down territory, so if you're on the other side of the 50 in opposing territory, then you should know that I have another down to work with. So calling it on third and medium isn't necessarily a bad call. We talked a little bit earlier, like I said, overloading that strong side to the tight end. If teams start walking that safety down or they put another linebacker there, trying to take away that buck sweep in that C gap, then it's very, very smart to go backside weak away from the tight end. And then when you get that motion from the backside wing, you gain an additional number. Finally, if they have weak middle linebackers, so like I said, it's very similar to power and ISO where you have like a lead blocker or like a kick block almost. So if those middle linebackers are not strong enough to take on ISO lead block from one of those wings, then you should be able to run belly down their throat. Okay, so now let's take a look at how to actually run the belly cross block. So right to left here, we have a receiver play side and then the tight end backside. Like I said, if they start to put numbers to the tight end side, so they have two defensive linemen here, they have two linebackers and a clouded corner. Sometimes they might even walk that safety down to take away the box sweep this side. Then it would be smart and advantageous to go backside where you have numbers. So you're 1, 2, 3 with these three guys, the left or the right guard, right tackle, right wing, and then the fullback makes fourth, you should have numbers advantage to this side. So your rule for the wide receiver is very, very simple. He is going to block play side corner stock block because he is to the play call. 34 belly, meaning the 4 hole is to the right, you are play side, so you want to block on. So a good technique, what I always tell my guys is to put yourself between the ball and the defensive back. So kind of run inside, position yourself between that cornerback and then the football, and then you can kick him out to the sideline so he doesn't become a threat. And if he does, he's tracking it all the way down over the top. So the play side wing here, he is going to block the middle linebacker. He's that ISO lead block guy. So he should be 1-by-1 off that end guy in the line of scrimmage. In this situation, it is the right tackle. You should step with your left foot, trying to get that angle, allow these blocks to happen, allow this mesh point to happen in the backfield. Step with your left foot and then insert yourself right shoulder here onto this middle linebacker. Now, what might happen is he might fill, since everybody's coming to the same side. There's no misdirection really here in the backfield on the mesh point, other than the quarterback pivoting, reverse pivoting out. He might fill here quick. He might see this hole and fill. So it might turn into a pin block where you step in and you just wash him all the way down, and then the running back might bounce it outside of that block. But nonetheless, in theory, step with your left foot to the inside gap and then insert yourself onto this middle linebacker. With the play side guard and play side tackle, you should cross block. If you have anything to your inside gap as a tackle, so if that is a 2, a 3, a 4-eye, you should cross block this. So in this situation, we have a 3 and a 5. So this tackle is going to step down with his left foot and then right shoulder block this 3 technique and wash him all the way down. The guard is going to step with his right foot, go behind the down block of this tackle. Tackle is always first. Go behind him, skin him, stay as tight as possible. With his right shoulder, head inside the hole, you're going to kick him out. So you can see if he goes that way and this defensive end gets kicked out this way, there should be a massive hole that opens up for this wing to lead block through. Center's rule is to reach. So he has nobody in his play side gap. He can reach to the next closest guy, this middle linebacker. Or if a safety shows up and if it's a really crowded box because we've been running the ball so heavily, he can reach up to the next level. You have a backside 2-eye here, backside guard, backside tackle, backside tight end. You are all scooping. You are all reaching. So cutting everything off at the next level. It's very similar to like a zone blocking scheme, an outside zone blocking scheme, trying to reach, scoop that guy who's in your play side gap. So this 2-eye here, you're going to step with your right foot, work your head across. Don't allow any penetration into that A gap. Backside tackle, you were uncovered. You don't need to step back and worry about this 7 technique or 6-eye, however you want to call it. You can step with your right foot and try to cut off this middle linebacker who will be flowing. Centers should also be smart. All action is going this way, so he naturally should flow, and then you can cut him off, meet him kind of here in that over-the-top A gap. Backside tight end, you are going to reach this 6 technique, and then if you reach him, just continue working towards the safety. These guys back here, this outside linebacker and this defensive end, should never make the tackle, so we should not be worried about him whatsoever. In the backfield here, we have the quarterback, fullback, and then the backside wing. In this formation, he's aligned behind the tackle. You can align him at the wing and do a pre-snap motion. So, the fullback steps. In this 34 belly scenario, you are going to take a flat step with your right foot. Make sure your toe is pointed vertically. You do not want to angle your toe to the sideline because that's going to open up your hips. It's going to turn your shoulders. We need everything to stay square. This side step is going to allow the quarterback to reverse pivot. It's going to allow time for the cross block and then the wing to insert block. If you just go straight downhill, the mesh point is not going to be clean. This linebacker is going to most likely make the play because things don't have enough time to develop up front. So it's very important that you take a side step with width and then a 45-degree with your left, crossing over, keeping your shoulders square, getting the ball from the quarterback, and then hitting the hole, reading this wing block if he blocks them inside or outside. Quarterback, you are going to reverse all the way out off of the midline. So almost at like a 4 o'clock step here, 4:30-ish, however you want to call that. So reverse out, 4 o'clock step, extend the ball to the fullback, almost like an inside zone read mesh point now. You're going to shift your weight from right foot to the left foot, extending the ball all the way, okay, looking the mesh point in, and then you're going to plant off of your left foot, step with your right, flat down the line here. So it's kind of drawn, misconstrued here, but you want to remain as flat as possible, okay, carrying out your option fake. And then the backside wing, you are going to belly back a little bit, get a little bit of depth. We want this depth to be at 7 yards, so we have a good pitch relationship here. You can't be too close to this quarterback because that pitch will be off. So we're not blocking this outside linebacker. We're blocking him without blocking him. And what I mean by that is he should be held enough by this option fake with the quarterback and backside wing. If he starts to jump inside, and we'll get to that, that's when you call the option play. But if he has this outside contain or this flat responsibility, he must respect this motion. He must respect this wing on the option. And that is how you have the numbers advantage. I'm going to scroll down here and show you. You can pause it if you would like all of the rules for each position. And then, like I said, the quarterback reverse to a 45, 5 o'clock, 4:30, however you want to call it. But make sure you're returning your back to the whole number. You want to reverse pivot out of that. So here's how it would look versus a 44, but you instead play side, you have a 2-eye and a 5 instead of that 3 technique. So nothing backside is going to change, but if I scroll down to the rules here, your rules always cross block unless you have a base or fan call. In this situation right here, you're going to have a base call, meaning you're going to base block it. So the tackle is out on the defensive end, and then the guard is down on the 2-eye. So it's going to open up a hole this way, that way, and then the wingback can get up through. So that's the only difference here. You're not going to cross block it now because you don't have the angles. It would make no sense for this tackle to wash this 2-eye down and then this tackle go all the way out on the 5. No. He has the inside gap here. He has the angle, so just wash that down. So everything else is going to stay the same. Receiver is going to stock block the corner. We're running the ball to the 4 hole. You are play side to the 4 hole. You are to the right. Position yourself between the ball and the DB. Kick him out to the sideline. Like I said, wash this defensive end all the way out. Wash this 2-eye all the way in. Play side wing, step at that 45-degree angle with your left foot, and then insert yourself on this middle linebacker. Center, your rule was to reach. Well, now you have an inside pressure in your A gap, so you can ace this. You can double team this with the guard up to the backside linebacker. Okay, so it's a double team up to the middle linebacker. You can give that right hand help, and then you must come off onto this linebacker. So good communication here is very, very key in helping this. Same thing here with this backside guard, the left guard. You don't have an interior A-gap pressure, so you are reaching essentially nobody, so you can work yourself up to linebacker depth. Backside tackle, you do have a 3 technique now, so this is important that you reach him. You can't allow any penetration in this B-gap because it could potentially mess up the mesh point here. It is imperative that you do not let this guy cross face here in this B-gap. Reach him, don't let him through. Backside, you are reaching on this defensive end on the 7 or 6-eye. Get in front of him. Once you cut him off, you can continue to climb to the next level. Mesh point is all the same here in the backfield. Like I said, right foot, gain width, and then insert yourself, cross 45 into the hole right behind this wing. It is still very important that you take that lateral step, even though we don't have the cross blocks. It allows this wing to get inside, insert, and you have more time to read that block, whether you go inside or outside. Quarterback, again, you are reversing 5 o'clock or 45-degree opposite, butt to the hole. Shift your weight just like you would on inside zone, so right foot all the way to left foot as that fullback crosses by. Playing off that left foot, stay flat down the line of scrimmage, and as soon as you get outside of this wing, you need to turn up. You do not want to carry this to the sideline. You want to make this guy respect your option fake. And then backside wing, 7 yards, make sure you gain depth, and then get in a good pitch relationship with the quarterback, maintaining, I would say, a solid 5 yards or more. Okay, so running belly against a 3-4 or 52 usually doesn't work out if you try to cross block it. They don't have great angles to do so. So what you must do is what we would call a fan block. So basically what's going to happen is you get a double out call. So tackle is out on the 9 technique, guard is out on the 5 technique, and it's going to hit more like A.5 gap if that's a thing, but it's going to hit more inside than the traditional belly cross block would hit just because of the angles of these defensive linemen. But nonetheless, everything is possible. You can run any play, any way against any defense within the wing T, which is why it's so great. Play side receiver, again, you were to the call, put yourself between the ball carrier and the cornerback, angle inside, kick him out to the sideline. Play side tackle, you are on a fan call, so you are stepping outright to attack the 9 technique. Play side guard, you are out fan call, out on the 5 technique. Play side wing, you are stepping at a 45-degree angle, and then inserting yourself on the play side linebacker, middle linebacker right here. This is a side note. It is a lot better of an angle, and I like to call it personally out of a different formation where he's in the backfield, almost like a T set where you have all 3 backs here in the backfield, or if you want to put this guy at the wing and motion him, you can. But it's a better angle if this play side wing is in the backfield, so he can just go vertical now instead of trying to get all the way inside of these double fan blocks, because that is a really hard angle. It takes a really long time to get through. So it's better if you call it from the backfield. But nonetheless, again, you can do it from any formation. Center, your rule is to reach. So you have a nose tackle, or a nose guard. He is either going to be in a shade or head up. So step with your right foot. Don't allow any penetration into the play side A gap. And then you should have a little bit of help here from the backside guard. So you can ace this because his rule is to reach as well. So just get penetration or movement on this nose guard. Backside tackle, your rule is to reach. You have a 5 technique, but you don't have anything in your interior B gap. So you can work your way up to the backside linebacker. Okay? You have the angle here, especially if you've been running a lot of buck sweep and he's starting to crowd over this way, then you should have the angle to get here backside. If not, meet him, cut him, do whatever you have to do, not allowing him to make the play here. Backside tight end, you have a 5 technique. You have to reach this guy. Okay? It's a lot easier if you have a 6-eye or a 7, but now you have a 5, so you have to cut him off. Don't allow any backside penetration. He shouldn't make the play all the way over here, but some defensive ends are really, really skilled, so you want to make sure that you don't allow any penetration there in that C gap. Everything is the same here in the backfield. Quarterback going to reverse out 45-degree or at the 5 o'clock, 4:30, and then ride the mesh point all the way to the fullback. Fullback, take that side step for width, and then cross over to a 45, keeping your shoulders square. I cannot emphasize that enough. You have to keep your shoulders square, especially against a 3-4 defense because of how inside it most likely is going to hit. You don't want to have your shoulders going at a 45-degree angle to the right here because you're going to run into the 5 and 9 technique. So keep everything square. It's going to allow you to hit this hole a lot harder. Backside wing, make sure you are at a good depth at about 7 yards, keeping a good pitch relationship. This should be full speed. You guys have to sell this, okay, to ID this safety. What is he doing? Is he coming here? Is he filling, or is he filling in the alley like he should be? Okay, so this has to be a good fake, like quarterback, like you have the football on the option fake. This cannot be lackadaisical. You cannot just show that you don't have the football. Okay, you want to put that ball right on the hip, and then right when you get around the wing, turn up like you have the football. Okay, so our last defense we're going to talk about is the 33. I do want to make a side note before we get into talking about this that you can run belly to the tight end. The tight end's rule would just be out in this situation. So if there's an overhang linebacker or something like that, he would block out, allow the cross block or base call or fan block to happen, and then you would just block out. So you can, but ideally, when we talk about numbers, you want to run it away from the tight end. But nonetheless, talking about the 33 defense right here. So you're going to get a nose, 2 3s, 2 outside linebackers in a 7 technique, 1 middle linebacker, and then the safeties should roll to motion. Corner's going to cloud this over here, and then this corner has to respect the receiver out here, so he will guard him in almost like a off man or cover 3 look. So again, wide receiver, put yourself between the ball and the defensive back, run inside here, create a wall, don't allow him to kind of go over the top, force him to go underneath. You have a 3 technique and a 7 technique. So anything that is on or outside of the guard, you were going to cross block, right? So you were down on the 3 technique and then out on the 7 technique with that cross block look here. Play side wing, you do not have a linebacker over the B gap. There's only 1 middle linebacker here in the box. So that would be your guy. You're going to ISO block on him. Now, you do not block this safety because even though he is kind of starting to creep up into the box with the motion, we're keeping him with the option fake. If they start putting multiple safeties here in the box, you're going to take the most dangerous, all right? But then it would be time to call a pass play over the top if they start loading the box like that because they would have the numbers. But nonetheless, in this scenario, everything should be as it is. You would just ISO block, lead block on this middle linebacker. Center, you are going to reach. So you don't have an A-gap pressure, but you do have a nose tackle or a nose guard. So you need to get penetration or vertical movement here with the help of the backside guard, the left guard here. So you can ace this up to the middle linebacker as well. Backside tackle, you have a 3 technique. Very, very important. It might turn into that pinball we were talking about where you might not be able to reach them, scoop them, get underneath of them, but you can just wash them down. Don't allow any penetration here in the B gap. Step with your right foot really, really hard. And even a helpful tip would be to cut your split, especially if this guy's slanting. Backside, you have a 7 or 6 eye, so tight end, you must reach him, get up underneath of him. If you do, you can work to this backside safety. Okay, so everything should be accounted for up front. We're not blocking this guy because of the option. All right, we're blocking middle linebacker with the play side wing. If they start to creep down, take most dangerous, and then we should ace up to the backside backer. Other than that, you want to throw the ball over the top because there's no safety help. But backfield action is going to be the same. Quarterback reverse pivot out, 5 o'clock step, ride the mesh point, keep the ball on the hip after you give the ball to the fullback. Put your hands on your right hip like you have the football, because this guy won't know. It'll hold him a second longer, and it'll also should prevent him from diving inside and being an extra number inside of the box there. Fullback, lateral step, make sure that toe is pointed forward. You want your shoulders and hips aligned, staying square. Crossover 45, and then get the ball from the quarterback, allowing time and space for this cross block to happen and this lead block to take place. Backside wing, if you're not motioning, you're in the backfield here, get depth 7 yards, carrying out that pitch relationship. Again, point of emphasis, it needs to be full speed. Quarterback and wing cannot be lackadaisical. You want to make this guy think that you're running the ball on the option, okay, because it's very important that you hold him from a numbers perspective inside of the box. So that is how you run it primarily against every single defense that you might see. Basic rules, if you have anything on or outside of the guard, you're going to cross block it. If you have anything inside of the guard, you want to base block it. And then if you have two numbers outside of the tackle, you want to fan block it. Primarily ran weak, but you can run it to the tight end if you feel the need to. So we're going to take a look at some film, take a look at a couple of plays, and see how it's done against a real defense. So this is the same play that I was showing you in the huddle. So you're going to have a 2-eye here inside of the yard. You're going to have a 5 technique outside of the tackle. So it should be a normal base call. Since he's inside of the guard, you do not want to cross block this. This outside linebacker we're holding here for the option fake. This wing leading up through to the play side linebacker. Everything else we should reach backside, try to cut off to the backside linebacker. So this is a great first down play, like I said. If you take a look at the top of the screen, you'll notice that it's first down. Like I said, if you want to gain positive yards on first down, this is what you want to do. Now, this was a little bit later in the game. We were kind of trying to wear them down this specific drive. But you'll notice, I mean, this is definitely positive yards on first down. We get about 9.5 yards just off that single run. So really, really advantageous for us here, especially situationally speaking. But let's break it down position by position. So you'll notice receiver at the bottom of the screen. He's going to try to insert himself, get a stock block out there on the corner. Play side tackle is going to wash out. Play side guard, wash down. And then this play side wing stepping with his left foot, inserting up inside onto the play side linebacker. Everybody else reaching backside. So you'll notice that our center, he has a shade or a 2-eye backside. His rule is to reach, so he comes off onto the backside linebacker. And then we scoop with the left guard, and we scoop everything else backside. We get a great double team from the tackle and tight end left side. We communicate, and the tackle ends up coming off. We can go find work elsewhere. And then in the backfield here, fullback, great mesh point by the quarterback. And then he puts the ball on his hip. Pitch relationship could be a little bit better, but nonetheless, still pretty good here in the backfield. Played through one more time so you can see from the top. Overall, really, really successful play on first down. So here's a great example of how the cross block should be. So I put this guy here in the backfield. I thought it was going to be a little bit better of an angle, but you have a 3 and then a 5. So this tackle is going to go down. This guard is going to go out. Everyone's going to reach backside. And then notice the footwork here of this running back. Very, very good. We talked about that sidestep. And then we cut off on the backside linebacker, and we're able to make a huge run out of this play. So we get 15 plus on that very, very simple belly play. We get a great cross block up front here. I'll slow it down. The tackle is going to go down, wash that. Guard's going to go out. Creates a massive hole. Wingback gets up through. Fullback's right up through. Reads the block. He stays inside because that the wingback blocks him out. We cut up inside. We read the block. And then we end up getting tackled by a safety. Now, like I said, it's very important to understand why this sidestep is important. It allows this cross block to happen, and it also allowed him time to read this wingback's block. So the pitch relationship obviously could have been a little bit better. We didn't motion this play going on a quick count here, but he should still be in pitch relationship trying to ID this safety. What's he doing? We ended up calling the option a little bit later in this game, but you can kind of notice he's a little bit hesitant. He goes outside, then he comes in. If you really run the option fake well, they will respect that. They will respond down to that, and there'll be nobody else there if he hits it right up inside. It'll be that backside safety. So overall, pretty good play for us, and it was also on third and medium. So if you look at where, pause it here. If you look at where the sticks are at, you can see right where the ref is. We're about third and medium right here. So set us up. We were in positive territory. I knew we could go for it on fourth down if we needed to, but we ended up getting the first down, so it worked out great for us. So the final play that I'll show here, I know it's a little bit blurry, but we'll get this wing to motion across. We're going to go 35 belly here to the left side. Notice this safety here. He's going to react to the option, kind of stay outside just long enough for us to hit it up inside and then outrun him. We get a great cross block front side. Wing is able to insert here on the play side linebacker, and this play goes for a really, really long gain here. So we get the motion, great mesh point. Receiver puts himself between the ball and the football and gets a great block downfield. Again, great mesh point in the backfield, great block by the play side wing, great downfield blocking by the receiver. And then this safety, he's going to just react just a little bit outside because of that option and not be able to make the play on the fullback going inside. Key on the play side wing here, he steps inside, inserts right inside on the middle linebacker back there, still blocking him, and it wasn't enough for the backside to get over the top and scrape through. I'll play it through a couple of more times here. Key on this play side cross block, tackle goes down, guard comes out, opens up a huge hole. It's able to bounce, and our guys do a pretty good job of carrying out their option play side here, this wing and then our quarterback. So overall, a really, really successful play. You can do a lot of different things from the belly play itself. There's a ton of plays off of it, and we'll get to that a little bit later. But a great base play nonetheless, especially if you have a dominant fullback and if you want to get more belly heavy away from the buck if they're starting to overload the tight end wing side. So the last play that we'll go over here is that fan call we were talking about, where we get a double out by the play side guard and play side tackle. Like I said, it's better for this guy to be in the backfield because it's a better ISO lead block. You're leading up onto this guy because this is the outside linebacker. He should respect the option fake. In this play, he obviously does not, but that's why the option is so beneficial because of this guy. If they start diving inside, you have the leverage, you have the numbers outside now. But nonetheless, focus on the blocking up front. We get the double fan call out. We're up on the middle linebacker. And then the footwork here of the fullback is tremendous as well. So we get that side step and then up through the hole, shoulders going down. Again, it's very important that his shoulders are square because if you look situationally, like I said, second and short, this is great. I didn't want to mess around. I knew we could get the first down with this play. His shoulders are forward enough. He keeps his feet driving, and he makes yards after contact, and we end up rolling forward for the first down here. So situationally speaking, it is a very, very good play call on second and short if you are confident in your guys that you can get that, 3-4 yards or 2-3-4 yards, whatever it may be. Again, we did not motion. We were going on a quick count here. He should have carried out his pitch relationship, but nonetheless, we see everybody kind of scoop backside. We reach, open up. Center does a great job not allowing any A-gap penetration by this nose guard here. Stepping with his left foot, not allowing him to affect the run play whatsoever. And then our receiver down below, putting himself between the ball carrier and the defensive back, kind of creating that wall. And then Everything else with the quarterback's footwork, reverse pivoting to that 45-degree riding, and then carrying it out. So like I said, this is overall a very, very solid base play if you want to get away from the buck sweep, buck trap, buck series in general, and really focus on your fullback being the main ball carrier within this series. So thank you for watching. Next time we will talk about the belly keep pass and then the secondary plays within this series.